Again, it's an irritative, I can never say that word right.
Now everybody scream enough respect to the X. Enough respect given.
So today, the ROG Ally Z1 came to Tech Tubers for impressions and review. In case you don't know, the ROG Ally is a portable gaming PC console type device. The Ally itself, or the Z1 Extreme, came out I think in April or early summertime, and now a cheaper model, the original was $699, this one is $599, is in the hands of, like I said, people for review. Now the thing about this device is it's not much different from the original one, except for the less powerful chip inside the Z1. Based on what I've seen, what I've read, the difference is significant enough that if you are as I like to call them, spec head, and you really do like to crunch those numbers and all of that, you might be taken a little aback by how much the power difference between these two devices are. Can this new one and the cheaper model play games? 100%, without question. But you know, you'll have less frame rate or lower frame rate. You'll have to really adjust some of these AAA titles to play on this device. Now the big question comes in is that $100 difference worth it? Simply because, like I said, or I've said before, I do have an ROG Ally. I use it frequent enough. In all truth, I use it as my home gaming PC because it's just that powerful as far as, you know, gaming goes. But the thing is, you can get the Z1 Extreme version of the Ally for under $600 if you don't mind getting it as an open box unit. Best Buy has tons of them. Now, unless you just have to have a brand new device at that $600 mark, I don't see why you would even look at this thing. Mine was $500 and change. So yeah, ROG Ally Z1, it's out.
So Bose launched 3 new headphones this week as well. Actually 2. They launched I think it's the Quiet Comfort Ultra. They launched the regular Quiet Comfort 2s, I guess you could call them. And they launched the Bose Quiet Comfort earbuds. Now, I like Bose headphones. I have the 700, one of my favorite pairs. I love the color of the white and gold. And these new headphones are pretty much to replace those. Kind of on the expensive side, $429, $349, and $299. From what I've read, they've improved the ambient sound, so you hear things better around you while you're wearing them. Of course, they've also increased the noise canceling, noise canceling on one end and ambient sound on the other. They just go hand in hand. And they also have that immersive sound as well. Now, I've always liked Bose headphones, so I really do want to hear what these sound like. My 700s are great. I never even thought about upgrading them. That's how good they are. So I will try to get a hand on at least one of those. I think they said the Quiet Comfort Ultras are the upgraded version of the 700, so I guess we will see. But yeah, Bose launched new headphones.
We also had 3 events this week. There was a Amazon event, of which I didn't even know was going to happen. I'm never aware of when these things come. There's very little fanfare to them. And when they do kind of pop up, I'm always surprised, though I guess I shouldn't be, as it is an annual thing, but it's never on my radar for whatever reason. They show off a bunch of new Echo devices, as is the thing with these events. Nothing of particular interest. A new wall mountable Echo that could be used as your home hub. They had a new Echo. Well, I don't even remember the number to it. Not as interesting as their prior devices. I will always be partial to the one that the screen could turn and face you wherever you were. It's actually what I have in my household now. Never saw any reason to upgrade because it's just so cool. They also showed you new Fire tablets for the kids, new Fire Stick, this one with 4K and Wi-Fi 6 capability. And they did have this little device that, for those who are elderly or handicapped in some way, the device can detect if you've fallen or hurt yourself and alert emergency responders. I think that's something really good to have, especially if you have someone who's prone to possibly hurt themselves and they may live alone. So I think that was a good direction for Amazon to head with that. They also had a bunch of new cameras, so you can, watch these streams around your home. So nothing particularly interesting on the Amazon technology front, but they did have an event, so have to speak on that. The next event that they had was the Microsoft event. I had reported on it earlier that Panos Panay was supposed to attend this event, and in his absence, I gotta say it was kind of boring. Yes, they really did try their best to liven it up, but their delivery is just not on par with what Panos Panay could do. He really made you believe in what he was presenting. These guys, not so much. But for the most part, the event was about their new co-pilot AI, and I have to say, it looks very interesting. It pretty much lives on your PC. I think it's going to jump to other devices as well, and it kind of works alongside you to make your workflow easier. It pulls from your emails, from documents that you saved, it learns from your work habits, and it kind of tries to stay one step ahead of what you're trying to do, so your flow won't be as demanding on you. They showed a few examples of it, writing emails and giving info to put in those emails, and cross-checking in information. Just things that might take you a lot longer on your own. This thing was able to do it and just give you the info straight. So all you had to do was check what it wrote to decide if that's how you want it to sound. And if not, you could actually ask it to change the tone of the email or whatever it might be to be more professional, more casual. Actually pretty interesting stuff. We're moving very close to what we see in the sci-fi cartoons and movies where the character tells the computer to do A, B, and C, and it overlays this with that and brings all kinds of info, all while the character is sitting in their chair drinking some tea or some coffee. Aside from the Copilot, they did show off some new Surface devices, and not very interesting. It was the Surface Laptop Studio 2. The most interesting thing with that, no, of course they have their own integrated chipset in there, so more powerful, this, that, as is the case when you upgrade a device. But the most interesting about the device was the trackpad. It's actually now made to work with people with physical disabilities. They showed a guy who had no fingers who the trackpad would not respond to. He went into some settings with his good hand, turned on the accessibility switches, or I know there were some options in there. And when he put his other hand back down, the trackpad did respond. So that could be a huge help for those who are in that industry and don't have the physical capability to do what they want to do as easy. Now with these new Microsoft trackpads on their devices, makes it that much easier. So I did like that. They also showed the Surface Laptop Go 3. They upped the specs of it. It's now more geared towards professionals and college students. The last ones, from what I read, were underpowered. These ones seem to fit the build much more. And I think that was it. They showed, yeah, those. Was there another device? No, there wasn't. There was the laptops. Oh, and the hub, of course. I've seen the hub once in my life. It's just a large screen that on wheels for office professionals to hold their meetings, and you can move things on the screen around. You could be on Zoom calls, or I know Microsoft has their own Teams, and you know it's on the screen, and then everyone can interact with the hub on both sides of the conversation. But so that was the AI Surface event, much more AI than Surface, and with the lack of Panos Panay to do the delivery, a lot less entertaining than previous events. The other event that happened this week was a Tokyo Game Show. Now again, I don't really speak games much on this channel, but it was very interesting because the Tokyo Game Show event happened during the same week that there was a huge Microsoft Xbox leak, and it went into the future of Xbox devices. So it kind of went hand in hand because Xbox did have a really neat showing at the game show. They are trying to push into Japan, where normally it's more PlayStation 5 than Xbox. But you know, they're trying to get in there, and from what they've said, they're slowly getting a foothold there. So they showed off a bunch of new games. They pushed their Game Pass Surface. As for phones this week, we were graced with the Techno Phantom V Flip. Now, a few weeks ago, I talked about the Techno Phantom Ultimate. That was a phone, their rollable prototype that, as far as I know, should be coming to market at some point in life because it's there, it's doable, and they would have the honor of being the first officially available rollable device. But all that aside, the claim to fame for Techno as of right now is they always find a way to undercut the big players in the mobile phone segment, whether it be bar style devices or foldable devices. And this Techno Phantom V Flip has done just that. The asking price, at least when converted to US currency, is $650. Now, the cheapest flip phone, brand new, you can get in the US is about $1,000, and that honor goes to the Moto Razr 2023 or the Galaxy Z Flip 4. If you were to purchase the Phantom V Flip, you would save yourself $350. And for all intent and purpose, it does everything that these other phones pretty much do. It has a outer screen, so you could see your notifications. There's little cat animations on it. You open the device and there goes their own version of Android. Now, the chip inside is not the latest Snapdragon chip. It's not. It's a MediaTek chip, which is how they were able, well, at least in part, how they were able to keep the price down. But if you just need a mid-tier device and you want it to flip, you want it to fold, you really can't go wrong with what Techno has to offer. So it was nice to see that it came out of the blue. I'm gonna have to start to follow these guys more. But I do like what they are doing. I do like how their devices look. And maybe, at least once the rollable comes out, I might try to get my hands on that one. Also, this week, the Honor Magic V Purse. I know I talked about this during the IFA because it was one of the few phones, aside from the rollable phone from Techno, that caught my eye. The Honor Magic V Purse, or I think it's called the Honor V Purse, is pretty much the Huawei Mate XS from years ago, reissued with a new skin, some new accessories, a new idea, and a new demographic to try to push the phone on. During IFA, they had said it was a prototype. They weren't sure it would be available. I did question that because, like I said, the Huawei Mate XS and XS2 have been widely available for a good year plus now too. So it really is just take those phones that didn't sell or people have returned, what have you, repurpose them to the V Purse, and boom, resell them. And maybe that's what they did. The phone is out in China now. I think they said it cost the equivalent of 820 or 850 US dollars. That is a good method, you know, to recycle what you didn't have a chance to sell out of at the first go round. Now, I did read that the chipset inside is new, not a flagship chip, no. I'm getting with a mid-tier chip. So again, that keeps the price of these things down. And you know, it comes with the little purse, shoulder strap accessory, so you could rock or use the device as a purse, as the name entails. So that did come out. I'm curious, not about the device itself, as I do have a Huawei Mate XS, but about the colors. And because the Huawei Mate XS2 came in a purple that I never got to get because its phone was just so ungodly expensive, over $2,000 for it. Even now, when you check on eBay and all that, the only place for someone like myself to easily get a Huawei Mate X2 easily around $2,000. And I'm not willing to spend that kind of money for a device just for a color change. Now, the big thing that came this year, or this week, it was the release of iPhone 15. Now, I did a little thing about it in my last vid, or my last this week vid. And I wasn't wholly impressed with it. It's a iterative upgrade. The big thing was they added USB-C finally, not out of the kindness of their heart, but because the EU has said they wouldn't be allowed to sell their devices if they didn't install USB-C into them by 2024. Apple had no way around that, so they did what they had to do. But that benefits you, myself, and everyone else, because USB-C is now a universal standard for devices. And all of the cameras and USB drives and all these little things that wouldn't work with your iPhone before, if you get one of the new ones, plug in your USB-C and you're good to go. I did go to the Apple store, not again to get one of these things, but I had read and heard about the weight and the button, and I know you're sort of like me anyway. I'm curious about the little things, and sure enough, they weren't lying. The iPhone 15 Pro Max, it actually weighs less than my iPhone 14 Pro, and it's a much bigger, well, not much, but it is a bigger device. So, you know, that was kind of impressive on their end. The multi-function button works as it said. The graphics are actually pretty cool when you were trying to select what you wanted to activate when you hold it down. So that was nice. And the main thing that I was interested in, the new chip, the Bionic or 17 Bionic Pro, I think they called it, is supposed to be able to do home console quality games. So you no longer need, or you will no longer need a PS4 or PS5 to get that kind of gaming experience. The iPhone 15 Pro should be able to do it on the device itself, run that kind of gaming experience locally. Now, I hope they would have had the Resident Evil Village demo on the device for customers to experience that for themselves, because I had read that and seen a lot of the tech reviewers out there were able to play that demo for themselves to have that experience that I was referring to. But unfortunately, I did not see that demo on the in-store devices. Maybe it was there, maybe I happened to look over it. I know that there's one of the panels that has all of the stuff in like a app menu type setting. Perhaps it was in there, I'm not sure, but I didn't get to play with that part myself. But overall, the phone is impressive for what it is. Not enough for me to change my iPhone 14 Pro. My phone is, you know, purple, and that is a big thing. You don't have purple, I have very little interest in what you have to offer me unless it's something amazing. And so I might just keep mine till probably the 16 or even the 17 or thereabout. But I'm pretty sure by then they'll decide to bring the purple back to their product line. As for the colors, they're all very pastel-ish, at least with the regular 15s, like Easter chalk. I don't know why they chose those colors. And the Pros are all kind of like a metal color. I know they say it's titanium, so it's like different hues of titanium silver. So they have light silver, dark silver, darker silver, and natural. So again, at least this year with the colors, I think Apple kind of missed the mark. But the phones themselves, especially if you're coming from an older device, are actually pretty good. With that said, my name is NG, the Neon X, and talking about what happened last week, this week, this is what I'm into.